Good day, good evening. Hello, wherever you are, whatever time of day it is. Welcome to another What's Up Wednesday. Yes, my name is Scott. Welcome to episode 27. 27 consecutive weeks of What's Up Wednesday. If you don't know, that's about a half a year. And we just get better at this, better questions, better audience, better guests as we roll forward. Boy, do we have a big show for you tonight, ladies and gentlemen. I am really excited about this. Look at this lineup. First of all, we are kicking off a 1,500-mile trip, Route 66, Chicago to LA. We're coming at you live tonight from Pontiac, Illinois, which is about 100 miles out of Chicago, literally on Route 66 at a Harvest Host site. Want to guess what the Harvest Host site is? This is how municipalities should be dealing with RVers like us in vans. The Harvest Host site is actually Village Hall. Is that cool? I love that. Where in the world are you watching from? Please put in where you're watching from. Love that. And the crazier places we get, we post those flags next week out. Cutter's one we get a lot. Well, he always shows up 2:50 in the morning from Cutter. But where are you watching from? Really curious about that. Again, we're coming at you from Route 66. Tomorrow we kick off a caravan from Pontiac to Springfield. If you have time and can join us for that little short segment on Route 66, go to my website, gosmalllivelarge.com, and get a free Eventbrite ticket just so I know you're coming. And join us on Instagram. I'm going to be posting a lot of little snippet videos and photos from Route 66, all 1,500 miles, Chicago to LA, on Instagram that you will never see on YouTube. So very important. If you're into Instagram at all, search me out, Go Small Live Large on Instagram, and join us for that. Again, we're going to be planning route events all along the journey, and I'm really excited. We're kicking off in Pontiac, Illinois, and we got a couple of groupies that are just in the parking lot right next to me. I'm so excited for y'all to be literally right there. It's so cool. Now look at this travel plan, ladies and gentlemen. We are on the move. I made a video a little while back about shifting the channel, keeping some of the van content, van life, van tips in here, but showing you where the van goes. I did not do a good job. And look at this route plan. This is this fly is very friendly to me, the last part of this year. So get subscribed, please. And we need your help. If you know van builders, we have a van builder on the show tonight, but the smaller guys, they're playing a part in this whole journey as well. So if you know somebody building vans on a commercial basis, boutique style, we would want to know about them. VANBOREE host sites, let me zoom in here so you can see this. We would love to do VANBOREEs, as I call them, which is where we camp out together. And it's much easier if I can do this on private property. If you're self-contained, all we need is just space and a little bit of time of your time. So let us know about that. And if you have some behind the scenes tours, maybe you are in a cool industry and want to share and can share some of that stuff, people love that kind of stuff. And of course, audience angels that invite me in to stay on their property. Many of you are doing that now, which is really awesome. Love just hanging out with you. So we got special guests on What's Up Wednesday tonight. We got Coachman, we got Nick. He's going to join us here in just a minute. And wait till you meet this guy. You'll love him. If you haven't seen his videos that he and I have made or some of his other stuff, he's just great. Upcoming guests. Look at this. We got new RVers, 7 months into a full-time experience. Chris and Cassandra are joining us. Volt is joining us in a few weeks, talking about some of their certifications. And we're still working on Storyteller. I'm kind of having a hard time getting them to say yes, but working on them. Upcoming events, mention these. Eventbrite tickets are what I'm doing. So my website has all that information. Stay updated. Sign up for an email newsletter. Hopefully you're getting that. We're coming out twice a month. Special stuff in the newsletter, again, you will not see on YouTube. And I give you a tip in the last newsletter on how to make sure your van is locked. So if you're not subscribing to that, you're going to want to get that. And if you haven't seen the Galleria video, holy cow, this one is getting great traction. And Nick tonight did a fantastic job. Apparently they're taking in Travato trades, and I actually may be getting I don't know. We'll see what the future holds. I love the Galleria. And then this week, Solus is going to be released as a van tour. So promise you a lot of van tours. And we have a craft builder coming up in a stealth transit van. So stay tuned for that. Of course, RV News headlines, huge show. Let's just get right to the crux of the matter. I just want to bring on Nick from Forest River's Coachman Division on the Class B RV. Nick, so nice of you to join us tonight. I know you're taking time away from dinner, so thank you, sir, for joining us tonight. There you go. Sorry, I had you muted there. So
no problem. No better place to be.
My fault.
No better place to be. Really
yes,
honored to be on this. First timer on this. So let me know if I do okay.
You're doing so great. And so this is kind of interesting, ladies and gentlemen. So as an RVer, Wi-Fi is usually my biggest headache. So you will maybe be a little tickled tonight that my RV Wi-Fi setup tonight, my jetpack is going great. Nick's actually running off his phone because the office Wi-Fi not so hot tonight. So he's actually burning up cycles on his own personal phone. So thanks again. Nick, maybe just kind of introduce yourself to the audience. You know, who are you? Forest River, Coachman, Class B. We're in a different space inside of Forest River. So just give us a little overview of you if folks don't know you.
Yeah, absolutely. Been employed at, been in the RV industry most of my life around here. You can do a lot of things, but RV industry is very prevalent here. Moved around the country a little bit at a young age, worked for a dealership out in Denver, Colorado, Kettleson Campers of Colorado, and decided to come back home and get in the RV business full-fledged. Started out in towables, fifth wheels, etc. Got an opportunity to come over to Coachman in 2008 or 9. It's been so long I can't remember, for the fifth wheel division. Became the sales manager over there. Fast forward to about 4 years ago, beginning of 2017, was asked by my boss, the president of Coachman, and the head of Forest River Pete Legal, hey, we got an opportunity for you. You did great at fifth wheels. We want you to come over and help us out with our V-van division that's having some problems. And never been in a V-van, been in some limo vans prior, and it was a big culture shock to me in a positive way. But make a long story short, fast forward 4 years, had to change. 4 years ago, I was 42, a huge life-changing moment to take all those years of towable knowledge and I wouldn't say throw it all away, but pretty much throw it all away. And to have to kind of start my career while it's in the same industry, much different product, much different customer. I had to start all over. And, YouTube was a big opportunity for me to learn the V-van segment, the chat rooms. I almost got a divorce. My wife, I would be up till 3, 4 in the morning copying and pasting. At the time, it was a lot of road trek stuff, and emailing it to me. And my wife said, I'm just tired of sleeping with this screen, and it's either the screen or us. Kind of joking here, but it took a lot of time. There's a lot to know, and you always fear the unknown, and that's kind of why we are always digging to be better here. So, yeah, very fortunate, extremely.
That's
fortunate.
one thing I love working.
Yep.
That's so great. Thanks for that intro. And that's why I love working with you, because like me, it's kind of we learn together, we share together.
Yeah.
The customer decides what's the best way for them. And your approach to educating the customer is right in line with what we like to do here. And your willingness to be educated, which I think is so important, as am I. I mean, that's really what this show is about. I learn as much from this audience as I am able to give them. And it's just the great way we roll. So get your questions coming in for Nick. I've got a few written down here. But we say, Teresa, we see your question here. It's one of the first in the chat tonight, but we're going to pause on that for just a few minutes because we're going to talk about it specifically over here later. But we got a lot of folks in the crowd tonight. Here's Live, Work, Live. We've been talking. Mike Trower is in the Pontiac area tonight. That's cool. Oh, weather's nice here. It's kind of cool. Here's Jane from next door across the parking lot-ish. So funny. It's so great. Las Vegas. Oh, God, can't wait to get Las Vegas. And let's see, Woodstock, PDX, which is Portland. Here's another Pontiac. Well, we got a lot of Pontiac folks in the audience tonight. I wonder what's up with that. That's so cool. So get those questions coming in. So Kimberly has one here. And this is kind of interesting questions. So Nick, hopefully he's again running off his phone here, but so Kimberly wants to know, I love the Transit chassis. However, I saw a lounge in the Coachman Prism 24M. Any chance of adding a lounge to the Beyond or Prism Type B plus on the Transit chassis? So we might get a lot of chassis and floor plan type questions tonight. So answer what you're able if that's comfortable.
Kimberly, correct. I don't even know what the 24M looks like, to be honest, and I need to do some digging on that. Really, a lot of our model change product implementations are coming from customers just like you. We spend some time on internals, but a lot of it is just interaction with retail customers, whether they're wanting our brand or a different brand. We just enjoy listening. Over here, my shoulder, I got a little up there on the board. Communication's a two-way street, and it's free. We get a lot of good ideas from our customers and people that don't own our products but give us advice, suggestions, because we do listen and implement quite a bit. So I don't know what the M is, the 24M. What I'll do is Scott and I can revisit that after the conversation. I can give you some thoughts on how we could possibly implement that in a product in the future. So just jotted that down. Great question. Seating's always important.
And my guess it's not a Class B product. It's one of the other ones. Not the, Nick's kind of in charge of the.
Strictly Class B.
How do I say those? So, but great question. NorCal coming in tonight. Beaver Creek, Ohio, Cape Cod. Look at that. Yeah, right. How about Steve from Louisville? I just came out of Louisville a few weeks ago. Love Louisville. Let's see, lots of Beyond Intentional. This is Chris Consendra. They're on the show next week, and you might see their pick of the week and recognize that one. So let's see. So Rich, so again, the question format to help us find your question quickly is 3 asterisks followed by 3 question marks. So that helps me scan this chat string and see what your questions are. So I think this is a question from Rich, Nick. My choice would be a 22D. If the 24S were gasoline. I guess that's kind of referring to Kimberly's question, maybe, right? Let me see. That's another good question here. Maybe while I look through that, let me ask you this. So just give us a little health check on the industry. We keep seeing headlines of RV sales going through the roof, inventory problems. Every dealer I'm working with is like, I normally have 300 things on my lot. I now have 30 things on my lot. We keep hearing about part shortages. This kind of goes to Teresa's question here, which is, hey, I've got a Beyond on order. Chip shortage. You might see this in the RV news headlines tonight. Maybe just kind of give us a little, from your vantage point as a manufacturer, what's the health of the industry?
Well, the industry is very healthy. There's always, whether in good times, pandemic times, there's always something happening in this industry, a shortage of something, and we're a thrifty bunch back here, and we're learning to get through some of this, some of these events that are affecting us. But overall, I've never seen such an interest. National media, all these we got new magazines coming out featuring RVs. Every week you see somebody on Kramer talking about the health of the larger companies, Thor, etc., Winnebago, Stock Talk. So there's a ton of positivity. I'm a pessimist, so I'm really learning to focus on the positive. However, there are some issues, and I believe Catherine was inquiring about the backlog on the Beyond product, which is on the Ford Transit all-wheel drive chassis. So typically I get anywhere from 60 to 100 transits a month. I've probably gotten 60 transits this year. So I want you guys to know everything. It's tough right now. We just got sent about 2 weeks ago the 2020 builder's guide for the 2022 builder's guide for the transit chassis. So we're pretty much have missed a major chunk of the year. I usually have answers for almost everything. I do not have an answer for this. It is close as hurry up and wait as I've been involved in something so big and important. We're lucky that Mercedes has been helping us out. Dodge is doing a fantastic job pulling some strings and helping us out. But long and the short, the chassis side is very concerning. I should have 387 chassis right now over in my holding yard. I think I have 7. We're scheduled out till the end of August right now, so that gives us some time for these products to come in and to continue to keep our production line going, specifically keep the families taken care of our employees. So that's something that I wake up for every day. I want to take care of my employees. I want them to have the best opportunities in life. and we're going to do whatever we can to scratch and claw to make it through the year. Ford's doing what they can, and this chip situation is real. I scoffed at it when I first heard of it, but it is real. It's even affecting older parts, dash clusters of other manufacturers. It goes real deep. It goes real deep, and we'll get through it. We'll get through it. We got good people. We're smart back here, and we just tend not to give up. So we'll get through it.
Yeah, it's interesting, and when I show the RV news headlines of the week, it's around Ford, so you want to stick around for that.
Yep.
It's really it's fascinating. And keep those questions rolling in. Here we shout out for some folks. So this is Cutter coming in, 2:50 in the morning. Hey Joseph, what's up? St. Augustine, Florida. We love that. California, we're headed your way. 1,500 miles to go to Los Angeles, and here's Waco, Texas. Love that. I have never heard of Estero, Florida before. So I'm kind of curious about that. We got Arkansas Tracy. He's in a DIY build out Promaster, Nick, that he did even a shower.
Nice.
He's got the coolest little rig. Yeah, right. Keep those questions coming in. So here's one, Nick, from Greg. It's kind of maybe a little tongue in cheek here, but they're coming in from the Florida Panhandle. Says if Coachman could stray from the Winnebago K copy, that's kind of the 2 twin beds, galley behind the driver's seat and the bathroom in the back, and make a G floor plan. That's what I have here. He had pulled the trigger off the line as LI3. So I not discussing new products tonight, but how do you keep a bead on the industry floor plans? You mentioned a lot of it comes from your customers. We did the Galleria video together, came out yesterday, and you mentioned the garage storage was a huge part of that. So as you look across the industry, the K model, which is the 2 twins, galley behind the driver, bathroom in the back, is everyone makes that type of floor plan. How do you make floor plan shifts that don't gamble the whole bank on?
Well, going to it's a big benefit is not knowing anything about Class Bs. Okay, I want to be first upfront and honest that not one person that works for me nowhere knew anything about Class Bs. So we don't have any bad habits, I guess I could say there. So number one, listening. When I got here, the Galleria 24Q was already developed. The 24T was already developed. So we had 3-seater, 4-seater already developed, and seeing, let's say, the way Pleasureway was growing with their Sprinter product, saw a lot of 2-person camping, 2-person only. Hey, take that seat out, give me a bigger refrigerator, et cetera, et cetera. So we went right into the 24FL, saw a big need for that, larger fridge, larger pantry, more of a full-time, a lot of time B-vanning, not just a couple times a year, like maybe a 24Q or a 3-seater or 4-seater. Then the Ford came out. That was done right when the 22D, right when I started. While the first CrossFit at the time that was at the Tampa show had in a transit van, had sleeping east to west, not north to south. Nobody liked that, so we switched the bed to more, lack of the better word, Americanized, more north to south. We wanted to be as mainstream as possible, and that's where the 22C, which is just an absolute amazing floor plan for us in the beyond, came out. We kind of took the 24Q. We couldn't do the 4 chairs in the Q, but we could do the rear couch, 22C. Then we had a lot of people asking for, look, we would love to buy a Winnebago rear bath, but we just don't want a Dodge chassis for whatever reason. They wanted rear-wheel drive, wanted all-wheel drive. So we built the only rear bath offering on the Transit. And it doesn't do great, but it's there for customers that it gives them an opportunity to have a choice. When you give the customer a choice, you're putting the customer in the driver's seat, and that's a good thing. The Nova, if I messed up, and I often talk to customers about me making bad decisions, and I'm not afraid of that. If I did make a bad decision, I wish we would have came out with the 20C, which is just recently introduced at Tampa show. You and I met there, walked through the 20C. Probably should have done the 20C first instead of the 20RV. But we did want a rear bath floor plan in the Dodge. And I tell you what, in all fairness, in all honesty, We kind of didn't realize how good the Dodge chassis is. We were kind of maybe being Mercedes and Ford guys and maybe too big for our britches when we looked at the Ram. And I tell you what, I really like the chassis. I like what it can offer us. That 20C floor plan is an absolute home run. Amazing kitchen, amazing storage. And, we are talking, you mentioned the rear storage of your particular floor plan. One thing that I never thought we would do would do like a raised bed toy hauler in a Galleria. My demographic is 55 and above. And we had some customers, older customers that I'm really good friends with. Les Hobson calls me up now, Nick. He's from Alabama. Now, Nick, I need more storage. And I just need more storage. And I'm like, Les, you're 60 some years old. What do you need storage for? So he came up to the plant, him and his wife, and we were working on the 24A. And he called me. He goes, Nick, what is this in your prototype bay? I was like, Les, you're not supposed to be over there. Get back over to my office. He goes, no, this is what I want. And he was looking at the beginning stages of 24A. And then we had another gal show up, older. I'm not, nothing wrong with being older. I'm older. But in that 65-year-old demographic, and she said the same thing. She came in that week, Audrey, and said, look, this is exactly what I want. So what I'm saying, fast forward, I think we need to pay attention to having some storage opportunities in the Nova. So I'm listening. Things are very tough back here. My model change, we just came out of model change. It was one of the worst model changes I've ever had because I couldn't do anything, because I can't get anything. So we did a couple small items that the customers were really adamant about. Frustrating, but we made the best of the situation. So we're working through, we'll probably see some new floor plans from us later this year, beginning of next. Okay. It takes about a good 8 months to get a great floor plan done. You can do one in 5 weeks, and it's not just going to be as thought out as it needs to be. So we like to take our time on that.
And it's so important to get it right, because by the time you get things going, I mean, 6 or 8 months, or even 12 months, really, to get a beat in the marketplace.
Yep.
Well, I'll raise my hand to be a beta tester for you.
Yep.
And we talked about a G floor plan ish when we got together a few weeks back. And the floor plan is so critical. Look, and you don't have to full time. There's no models or medals or trophies for full time. But make sure the floor plan meet your needs as close as possible, because it just so makes the RV experience so much better. Speaking of experience, look at this. Yeah, go ahead.
Something on that floor plan, it's got some critical elements that we don't have right now. It's got the largest bathroom I've ever seen in a Promaster. It's got more storage than I've ever seen in a Promaster. And one thing that we've been getting asked a lot is, hey, can you please get a bench seat so we can bring grandkids, so we don't have to buy a pop top, whatever it is. So we're listening. I'm getting hit pretty hard, and usually I get enough listening. Let's start doing. So you'll probably see that from us in the future.
Well, I'm on a drip campaign with Nick to build me a G that's kind of cool, a different. The comping thing is one thing, but there's always ways to improve things, right? And it's really just that's what this community is about, just helping improve. So this is one of your customers. This is Bob going to one of the escapees escapades in Wyoming in his Coachman Beyond 22D Li3. So nice. Bob has got to be got a big grin on his face.
Bob, send us some
and
pictures.
And he gives you a shout out here, Nick.
Send us some pictures.
He's like,
Bob.
Go, Nick.
Yep.
So you got a fan club. I love it. It's so awesome.
I'm fans
Let's keep
of
those
theirs.
Questions rolling in, folks. There so here's another customer waiting. A lot of coachmen in this audience. They really took a shine, Nick, to our videos we made at the Tampa show. And thanks for your patience, everybody, for Nick's pixelated. We're trying to do our best. I think it's a little humorous that I'm the RVer in a parking lot. Anyway, so this is Jane. She's very close to me right now, and like right there. Hey Jane, what's up? Says, hey Nick, build quality look good in Scott's videos. Are the cabinets real wood? That is actually a great question, because wood is a very liberally used term in the RV business. Tell us about your cabinetry. I love your cabinetry.
Yeah, so I just moved. recently, and we redid our bathroom. And I sent the wife to go get a base cabinet. And she came back with something, and I looked at my, I love her to death. We've been married, just celebrated 10-year anniversary. I looked at her, I go, Jenny, I was like, well, what is this cabinet? She goes, well, this is, you know, I asked them for construction grade cabinet. I was like, no, this isn't construction grade, Jenny. So yes, we have the best cabinets in the industry. And I'm talking of all RVs, not Class Bs, of all RVs. Mention Newmar, mention anybody. Our cabinets are very done very well. There's a lot of people trying to cabinet or copy our dovetail construction on the door sides. There's just nobody that's willing to do it. And you know, I made a mention this to you. I ran into a customer at my first Tampa show for the B-Van division. His name was Matt Taylor. Thank you, Matt, from Florida. Took me to the back of the display, popped me in a Galleria, and said, boy, what are you going to do to this van? What are your plans? And I said, you know, after looking at the bill of material, I think I'm going to get rid of these cabinets. You know, I came out of the towable segment. These cabinets are extremely expensive, and we didn't do that over there. And he drilled in me, and thank goodness I ran into Matt at Tampa, and that he was willing to express to me as a customer his frustration with my potential decision. Came back to the plant and didn't make that decision, and it's probably one of the best decisions I ever did not make. You know what I mean? Or, you know, I was about ready to pull the plug on the cabinet. So all hardwood cabinets, you just can't recreate what we've got going down the road at our Amish cabinet shop, custom cabinet shop called Heritage. They do an amazing job, absolutely amazing job, and on all products. So very lucky to have them on our team.
Yeah, and it's just beautiful. And the
Yep.
fact you do white, I think, is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I might, you know, give you a tip to do white in the Galleria, but the Galleria has a curve, just a little bit of a concave element to them, which mine do here. And that little bit of curve has such a rich feel. And the permanent desk in the Galleria behind the driver's door has
Yep.
the radial. It just speaks of high end, man. It's really lovely. Great question, Jane, and that's what just caught my eye big time on the Coachman line. Let's see. Here's Leslie from Route 66 in Albuquerque, and here's a battery question next. So this is Sparks guy. Throw this out at you. So am I able to swap out the 330 amp hour AGM in my Nova 21 Nova RB with 3 or 4 lithium batteries? What other components could be affected? Is that any thoughts on that?
Yeah, Sparks guy, how you doing? Thank you very much for the question. I don't want you, Sparks, doing the work, number one, okay? There's a lot of wires that can spark. There's a lot of 12 volt really hurts. And we just had a little seminar not too long ago at our owners rally where I just told the wives of all the customers doing the mods, I go, look, I'm talking to you wives. If you want your husband to look like the doctor from Back to the Future that did the flux capacitor thing and he was twitching all the time and he had the crazy hair, go ahead and let him mess with the van. So making a long story short and just trying to shed some light on this, please have somebody do this. I have a responsibility. I've signed my life away to make sure that anybody that buys our products, they're going to be safe, and I think about it every night before I go to bed. So let's get to the meat of the matter. Yes, you can swap anything out that you want. I'm not a big fan of any other battery besides lithium. Scott's got his opinions, I've got mine, and that is great that there's, again, options for all of our needs, and that's putting the customer in the driver's seat. Couple things. You'll need a really good BMS. I'm not going to recommend anything outside of our system. Okay, make sure you're crimping your terminals correctly. A couple of my customers are dabbling in this right now. I know it's happening. I cannot stop them from happening. It is their van. I'm not going to play the mother figure here. But yes, it can happen. You want a BMS. You're going to want, if you're going to use an alternator, you're going to want a second alternator. If you don't get a second alternator, you won't need a voltage regulator to control the voltage of the alternator. So yes, it can be done. we have a service shop here. We will not touch anything else besides the batteries in which that ship to you originally. There's a couple guys out on the Beyond Owners group page that you might want to reach out to, Sparks Guy. They'll direct you. You ask the question, what you're asking on this screen. They'll direct you to the right people. I know I just emailed them the other day. I don't want to get 100 people going to his direction, but if you get on there, they'll be able to direct you to the right person. And just be safe. Make sure you're doing everything right as rain. And again, I've signed a lot of ethics clauses where I just can't let people work on their vans themselves while it's under warranty. After warranty, I still am concerned, but sometimes my employees say, yes, some of my employees tell me, Nick, you want to help this guy so bad, you're about ready to cross the line that you told us never to let you cross. That you want to help somebody so bad. Let's just send them a solenoid or this, just to get them on the road. I trust this guy. And my team stands up and goes, you told us never to let you do that. So it can be done. Safety is my number one concern, because in previous life, all I did was build fifth wheels, and rarely anybody would let their cat in a fifth wheel while it was going down the road, let alone have anybody in the fifth wheel while in transit. So new world for me, having people over batteries inside my products 24/7, sleeping in them, etc.
Yeah, it's a
good
different
question.
world.
And it can be done.
And you're just so great at, it's a great question. It can be done. So Karen's giving you a little shout out here, Nick. Nick is the best. Never tire of his interviews. I can't wait till I pick up their 22C in Ventura. So a lot of customers waiting for Coachman products here tonight. Thank you for your patience. North Carolina chiming in. Frisco, Texas. Look at this. Here's Leslie. God, I'm not sure I'll see your first name. 20C Novas ordered in February. Yeah, we kind of talked about some of the part issues. Here's Fort Worth. Keep the questions coming in. So we are, Nick, at the bottom of the hour already. It just flies by, doesn't it? My question for you, if you need to cut loose and dinner is waiting for you, you're welcome to sign off here, or we can roll for another 30 minutes.
Let's go another 30 minutes. I'm getting a little light on my battery on my phone. I might have to go to my truck and plug this in. Okay, so we'll have some fun later where I'm going to see what we can do. So let's keep going.
We'll keep going till your battery dies.
Yep.
Yeah. So let's see. So Bob's got a good question here. Can people check out the vans if they go to the Coachman factory? They're scarce on dealer lots. That is a great question, and I can vouch there's hardly any product on the lots.
Yep. Good
Where can they see one of these things?
Yep. Good question, Bob. We're always available for plant tours. Right now, what we do, and you can come in and take a look at finished goods, product, ask reps questions. Right now, we typically shut production down. It starts phasing out about 1:30. So right around 2 o'clock, we can do plant tours. You're more than welcome to come. In fact, we had some locals, which we really don't sell a lot of people from Elkhart around here. We don't sell a lot of vans to like 50-mile radius around here. You're more than welcome to come. This is where a majority of the inventory is. And it's kind of funny because once we get a part, then now 20 vans can ship down the road. So a lot of the times we've got them stabled here, if you will, just waiting for a light or waiting for this or waiting for that. Then 20 chassis go hit the road. The 20C customer, I don't know if it's your unit, but we've got a whole row of 20Cs that are shipping out this week. Got a bunch of parts in, couch, etc. Foam has been a problem for our seating, so it's just a hurry up and wait thing. And trust me, guys, I don't get paid unless these vans are getting delivered to customers. And my wife wants to ship a lot of vans.
Christmas is coming.
Yeah.
So this is kind of an interesting question Tim has here. Oh. So that's why those Coachmans are shipping, man.
Yeah.
That's so funny. So Tim wants to know, how do we order a Novus with a Dodge chassis fully loaded, all the options, digital reviewer, or do we have to take the Coachman factory, or what the factory has. You can order an optioned out rig from your dealer, right? And not just what they have on the lot. Is that accurate on that?
We did not choose to use the mirror in our first couple orders. Michael Frawley, that was on here just a little bit ago, he's going to get one of the first chassis that has the rear view mirror camera, and I don't blame you guys. I made a mistake there. We didn't realize how beneficial it was. So we should be getting, I think, my next shipment in beginning of August. We'll have everything will be all Novas will have the rear view mirror camera. So great question, Tim. That will be available here probably in the next 30 to 60 days when we start receiving chassis from Dodge.
Yeah. So this is from Jeff, and this is related to the Galleria. Hi, Scott and Nick on the Galleria. Why no ducted AC? Great job on the Li3 Lithium. How about no propane? Just need diesel electric water heater. I think from Lake Tahoe, New York. Oh, Lake Tahoe, Nevada side. Sorry.
Yep.
Lake Straddle's the So ducted AC. What are your thoughts on that? It's kind of interesting in a van, right? Because it's really takes room. I don't know.
It's I've done it before in a van. It was in a Chevy G van back in the mid 2000s. I worked with a vacuum form ABS plastics company, and we did a lot of van conversions. And we developed a plenum with sandwiched ABS parts and Sikaflex, and we did a pretty darn good job. And it was an absolute beautiful van, all vinyl wrapped. I think we had a Nintendo gaming console in there. So if I'm dating myself a little bit, it's something we've talked about. Maybe we should quit talking and start doing this. The ducted AC is definitely something I like that idea. The propane, when I first started, I did not understand how good the Truma was. And I've really grown, even through pessimistic customers that wanted systems like yourself, hydronic, even they kind of, came warmed up to Truma per se. One of my customers, Bruce Nelson, Galleria owner, wasn't quite sure about the Truma. Now he just wouldn't do anything other than that. And I know some manufacturers are having some issues with some hydronic products. And we're going to sit back and we're going to wait for more companies to get in the game and, pick the top guy. Right now, we don't have any plans. We are watching it, though. It's something that we're paying attention to. It'd be silly for us just to say we're not going to do that ever, because usually once you say that, you're going to be doing it in the next month and look like a fool. So, great question. We do. I think the ducted AC has a place in Class Bs at some point in time. It's just time. So, yeah. Very good suggestion.
Right. Yeah, it's fascinating. It kind of goes back to the parts and stuff and the floor plans and all that stuff.
Yep.
Here's Michael saying, "Hi, Nick."
Hey, Mr. Frawley.
I know, right? That's so great. I just love
awesome.
What a great audience, right? Just a cool group of folks. Sharon's got a little tongue-in-cheek thing going on here. I didn't like the diesel chassis. Any chance of putting? Oh, that's the wrong one. Hold on. Bob Shoot. Sorry. Nick and Judy. I ordered Beyond a all-wheel drive in February. We're seniors and wondering if we'll get it within our life expectancy. Pretty sure we have an RV delivered within the next 20 years, right? I'm just guessing.
I have not.
Yeah, we've kind of beat this topic to death, but it's just patience is the key, right?
This one's awesome.
I know it's annoying.
It's incredible because nobody's put it that way. Now I can finally laugh at answering this question a little bit. So thank you, folks. We're doing everything we can. We know we got 50 vans coming our way. I don't know all the names of the retail orders. Tommy runs the sales department, but we do it the fair way. The last order in is the first order out. Okay?
That's
so if
cool.
your order's been in there long, nobody gets priority over time. So if your order's been in there the longest, we got a computer system that tells us that. Tommy clicks a button and schedules it. And we're not building
That's
stock.
Cool.
Nothing. Any transits we get, they're not going to be stock for inventory. They are going to be dedicated to retails.
Yeah, that's really great to know. So
Yep.
let me jump, folks, to the RV News headline. Kyle's going to punch the microwave button, so go ahead. Even though we're sitting in a parking lot running the AC, we can run the microwave too. No shore power. So this is the RV News. Let me show this, and this goes right to the heart of the matter. I mean, this came right out of RVnews.com. I'm going to zero in here. I'll read some of these bullet points, and then Nick, you can chime in. But ladies and gentlemen, this is a serious issue across the automotive industry. This was an article quoted by RV News from CNBC. Ford is shutting 8 plants down in July and August because of parts constraints. 50% production loss in the second quarter of 2021. Ford alone is having a $2.5 billion earnings hit for all of this delay, shutdowns. That is not insignificant. 1.1 million unit production loss this year. And look at this on global automotive production, 110 billion lost globally due to microprocessors in RVs, not just RVs, it was across the line.
Yep.
And I think that just kind of speaks to the problem, which is just in time was almost too much just in time. And I think it was a perfect storm of a few things coming together. And it'll be really interesting to see how the industries adjust to these types of hits to their business, upset customers. I mean, it's not
Yep.
just Coachman here and Nick and some folks waiting for their life expectancy to hang around until they get their RV, but this is real money. 110 billion across the globe. That's just automotive. What else? I mean, I was waiting for my iPad for almost 6 weeks. Kind of the same deal, right? So,
Yep.
what do you think, Nick? Is this kind of craziness, or what's up with this?
Well, I think,
Will lessons be learned? I guess that's my question. Will lessons be learned, not just automotive people, but across the?
Well, if I had the money, they estimate to open up a chip factory is $330 million. So if I had the money, Scott, I would try to solve this problem. I don't have the money. I know there's a lot of people out there that do have the money. We need some help. I'm not one to lean on government for help, but somebody's got to get involved and get this straightened out. We got an iconic company out there that builds and does the right thing. They build quality products. And one of the reasons why the Beyond is so popular is Ford backs up their products better than most. And, it's real. And basically this is what happened. COVID hit March. We went a month with not knowing what was going to happen. Suppliers, we were eager to get our people back to work. I think suppliers, I'm not throwing anybody under the bus. I think some suppliers did a good job. Other suppliers just sat on their hands and said, what are we going to do for 2 months? And they stopped their order. That person stopped their order. That person stopped their order, all the way up the chain. And then COVID hit. Everybody's sitting at home going, well, I got to find something to do. And they go buy a gaming console or a new tablet. And all those chips, all that inventory got moved over to the consumer electronics side. And, Ford lost out. Everybody's being hurt by it. And, it's sad. It's sad. It's affecting a lot of people's lives. And, I feel bad for the employees at Ford that can't work. I feel bad. We had to shut down Fridays for July and June. That is not what I'm here for. We're here to go forward.
Because no parts, right?
Yeah.
Standing around looking at production lines set idle is not good for anybody. So, I just hope there's lessons learned, right? I think that's the biggest takeaway for me is like, just in time is good, but God, it's just, maybe it's a little too just in time, right?
Well, for instance, Scott, one thing that we're doing, you probably were familiar with the new own-in generator coming out, the quiet generator. So,
which is
talking about it. We partnered with own-in to get in on this early, did some testing. We're here in Elkhart. They're major hubs here in Elkhart. Own-in generators, everybody's loving it. Heck, now I can't get them. So what's my plant full of now? Lithium batteries. You know the cost of these systems. They're not cheap. The consumers know the cost of these systems. I'm not saying anything that anybody doesn't know. But we're having to do change orders, deleting a generator that probably costs under $3,000 and adding a lithium system that costs way more than $3,000. And that's a good thing. Thank goodness Lithionics has been there, and we did some planning on the onset. But my whole back 40 of my plant is full of lithium batteries. So we're having to inventory. We just did inventory. My inventory is about $1.5 million over what it was previously. the previous time we did inventory, and that's because we're buying everything we can. So from vinyls
planning
to
ahead a little
foams,
bit.
yep, just covering our tail feathers, I guess.
So kind of along that line of thinking, so Live Work Live wants to know, thanks you for taking questions, which I seriously appreciate you being so transparent and taking the questions. But she mentions, or they mentioned Volta here, but I'd say it's Lithionics or even Victron, right? Is there a trend toward lithium, and is cost the big hiccup, or is it just people then understanding the benefits of it, and as that trickles through the ecosystem of RVing, that it makes that $17,000 delta? It's like it's so worth it because I actually couldn't be doing this right now in silence in a city hall parking lot, running the microwave, running the AC.
Yep.
And as this starts to percolate, I mean, is this what are your thoughts on this question here?
As far as thoughts on lithium in general?
Yeah, just the cost basis. So a lot we're not putting
Yep.
lithium in because it's seen as expensive and maybe luxurious.
Yep.
It certainly is, I guess, but now it's a capacity thing. Yeah.
Yep. Let me put it this way. We'll talk about the capacity, but as well, I just told you we're switching everything over to lithium, right? My average turn, most everybody's average inventory turn right now. So that means the van shows up on the parking lot and it takes 36 days for that van to get sold to a retail customer. We're averaging about 36 days right now. And a majority of everything we're building is retail. So the consumer is obviously telling us with a 36-day turn that everything, almost 90% of what we're building is equipped with lithium, that it's really not that big a delta for what you're doing and what you're getting right now, Scott. Lithium can take you places. Lithium can get you places. I don't care what system you got that nobody ever knew you could do with a van. Maybe an ambulance driver knew, maybe a utility company knew, but I didn't realize when we started talking to Xantrex about partnering with Lithionics and developing a lithium system. I had no clue the freedom of lithium. And, that goes, I'm a big fisherman, okay? There's guys buying $4,000 worth of batteries and putting them in their $80,000 bass boat. And it is insane. I never thought it would hit the hillbillies like us, the fishermen, that they would want it. But you know what? The big thing about it, and I just talked to a customer yesterday about it, is that the usage that you get out of it. AGMs, you get about 50%, then it's gone. It's gone. So, there's ways to get lithium, like the gentleman earlier. You don't need a Lithionics battery. You don't need a Volta battery. You need to do it right. Take it to a dealer or somebody authorized. But Volta, I think Mastervolt recently entered the market with Thor, I think. I'm not too sure about that. But I don't think there's anything like being self-contained. It's like moving to the country to get away from everybody, but you want to be prepped for anything that happens. And that's what I feel is maybe like a bunch of little preppers. You just know that you're self-sufficient, that you can produce for yourself. And that's kind of, it's kind of encouraging. It kind of makes you brave, a little more brave than you normally be. How far is that extension cord versus there's no extension cord for the lithium. And look what you're doing right now. It's amazing.
It's pretty cool. And every time I do this, I'm like, this is actually pretty amazing.
Yep.
So a lithium kind of ish question around Nova. So we're just about 10 minutes till we're done here, and his audio has shifted just a little bit. So hopefully that's not indicative of your battery shifting a little bit or getting ready to go on us. So I'm kind of saving the song of the week, pet pick of the week, and the viewer recommendation till the very end, so we get the most out of Nick tonight. So let's see. There's a lot of questions here. We're not going to be able to get to some of these. I apologize. So Javier's got a question here on the Nova Lithium carrying a second alternator. Can you eliminate does it have a second alternator? Question one. Question two, can you eliminate the sink in the bathroom? Is it needed for van life in a Nova?
Okay, the Nova does have a second alternator. All of our alternators are Nations alternators out of Missouri, probably a couple hours away from where Scott is right now. And can you eliminate the sink in the bathroom? And I'm assuming you're talking the flip-up sink. We could definitely take a look at that, Javier.
Yeah, it's and the flip up sinks you guys are using are way more quality than some of the others because you actually have a drain in the bottom
Yeah.
and it flows into a drain. And I know I'm a huge proponent of my second sink in the bathroom. I use it all the time. There's just something about residential feel of brushing, flossing, spitting into a real sink
Yep.
drain
Yep.
in your bathroom,
Yeah.
not in the kitchen sink, right?
Yep. Yep.
I'll never forget one of the great lines of Steel Magnolias. The grumpy lady with the Saint Bernard losing her hair talks about her neighbor husband, but he's a real gentleman. Takes the dishes out of the sink before he pees in it, and that's kind of the way I feel about my sink in the bathroom. Is that it's just having the separation, even though they're 18 inches apart, having the separation of living space makes me feel like I'm having a full living van life
Yep.
experience, not compromising. So the fact you guys have that kind of sink is interesting, but I'm not sure what you'd actually gain, right?
Sure.
By removing the sink. You got to
We
kind of
can
think
do it,
about
Javier.
that too. So yeah, we can do it. If you haven't seen Steel Magnolias in a while, it's a pretty. There are so many great one-liners.
Yeah.
And Olympia Dukakis just died recently. She was one of the four in there.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. She was the first one. There's Sally Fields in there, Dolly
Yep.
Parton, and oh, her name escapes me. I can't believe it. The really the young one. They got married, and anyway. Let's see. This is kind of an interesting question. This is Javier again. Why should I buy a Nova and not a Travato?
All right, then this is Javier again. Javier,
Yeah.
I am 6 foot tall. I'm 48 years old, and I'm a little round towards the bottom. Okay, midsection, let's say. One thing that I do enjoy a lot about I'm working a show. I've got a Galleria that is pretty much the same dimensions, width and height wise, as a Ford Transit. I'm back and forth in between those, and don't really know that there's any difference between the two because there's not until you put the Nova in the lineup. I don't need as much. I don't need 6'4", 6'2" here. I need a little bit of this, and the Nova being 2 inches wider on each side, 4 inches wider overall. You can feel it, and it lets us do some things normally that we might not be able to get in there. One example is how much cabinetry we were able to put in the 20C, but yet it felt so wide open. And I'm telling you, those 2 inches on every side, I want to take off 2 inches, 4 inches, okay? But they added 4 inches, 2 on each side. And it's visibly, and it's something, I've been around B-Vans long enough now, I can feel it. I can feel it when I walk in my products that Dodge is wider, whether it's in cashmere, interior vinyl, or fog. You just feel it, Javier, and I just feel that you got a little we're always looking for space, right? Especially in a B-Van. So that chassis is pretty slick. We started receiving chassis. What am I doing here? Okay. Chassis, and I was really surprised. We got a Ford all-wheel drive. We got a Sprinter 4x4, and I was really surprised to see how well a converted Nova handled in snow. And that's something that's pretty special. That's something that we want to make sure our customers feel safe in the snow, because there's nothing better than taking your B-Van out, knowing that it's insulated better than anybody else's product, a Coachman B-Van, and that you get a better value for your purchase. Instead of having to hang up the B-Van in October and November, why not we get the full extra 3 months and be able to camp in that 12 months out of the year instead of 8 months or 7 months? So that's a big deal with, for me, is that insulation and full value of whatever I'm purchasing. I'm losing a little battery.
I'm just going to add to that. Yeah, we're just about 6 minutes away, so hopefully I can hang in there. And
okay.
if you want to hang in till folks in the audience tonight, we're going to do all the other stuff at the end, so we can get through the top of the hour with Nick. But I'd just like to add, and a little caveat here: I am not getting paid by Coachman. I get no special benefits from Coachman. I just like bringing on people from a variety of RV manufacturers, so you again, we learn together, we share together. You decide what's the best way to go. Let me give you a couple of things here to think about Travato versus Nova. The thing that was so apparent to me right off the bat is the cabinetry. A Coach B is all about the cabinetry, the amount of space, the storage, the glass insets, the backlighting. They're just gorgeous. The back of the cabinet, the bottom of the cabinet is carpeted. That is huge. That means your stuff doesn't slide around. It doesn't rattle. You can kind of stick it into the carpet a little bit. I know it's not carpet. You have another name for it,
Yep.
Nick. The other thing was super apparent. I'm not sure which Nova Javier you're talking about, but the rear bath, on the Travato K model, the commode kind of hangs out when you open up your doors. The genius of Coachman was they put a wall there.
Well,
and you don't see your commode when you open up your doors. And it's
Yeah.
just little things like that. The quality, the sound system. I mean, it's all the little things and some real innovations around the floor plans. But there's a definite feel, in my opinion, just a step up, really, in a residential feel in a Coachman product versus the current two Travatos.
And that's the thing, residential. So whether you have a wife, girlfriend, whether you have a wife, girlfriend, partner, whatever, we all want those features of the home we just left to come with us. Some of the favorite features of you bought the house for some reason. You got to have some features in there. You bought the refrigerator for a reason. You want to have some of those items with you. And when I first, that was that is one thing that I've always kept near and dear to my heart, whether in towables or now in Class Bs. Residential is possible. Residential, because, sometimes it's the wife that doesn't want to go in a Class B because there's not much in a Class B. Let's put some stuff in a Class B. Let's get rid of the old Dometic sinks with the glass top and the flip-up nozzle that you can barely get an arthritic hand around the little tip of the knob to open it up, and you got to use a little tiny half solo cup so you can get a glass of water. Let's get some residential features in here. Yeah, it can still be a Class B, but it can be a residential build.
Yeah, it's really kind of amazing. So Nick, let me ask this question. We are just getting a ton of questions on, hey, I've got mine on order. When's it coming in? A lot of these are January, February, April. Like here's one. So they ordered one in April. Is there like a hotline or someplace where they can see where they are in line? What I was looking for when I ordered mine, so I ordered my Travato in June of 18. I didn't get it until October of 18. By the way, all the parts were available back then. And what would just be so cool is have like a pizza tracker. Why does my $10 pizza, I can show exactly where it is in the thing. By my $125,000 Coach, I'm like, it's a guessing game. Do you guys have a hotline or I don't want to overload you, but because you should be building vans, but is there some remedy for these folks? Because there's a bunch of questions. We're not going to get to them all tonight, but they're all around the same thing. I ordered, what's the status, basically?
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to have some bad news on the boards, guys. I mean, I'm supposed to be getting 80 a month, 60 to 100 a month to be correct, and we've gotten 50 so far this year. So oh no.
Uh-oh, I think we lost Nick. We ran his phone dead. Let's just give him a second. Good timing, top of the hour. Well, let's just thank Nick for joining us tonight. There's a great question in here. It's like, why is he doing What's Up Wednesday, Nick, and not out building vans? It's a part shortage. It's so frustrating. So we lost him. Let me take him out. So, or take him off the show there. Sorry. We definitely don't want to take him out. Oh my gosh. It would be Harry Carey everywhere. But a lot of great questions tonight. I just so thank this audience. We had a really great turnout tonight. And he's just the real deal. He is so cool. I just love hanging out with this guy. And we're talking on some cool things, and they have a big show in September, the open house in Elkhart. So I'm going to be in the Pacific Northwest. I'm actually considering flying in to be part of that whole thing in September in Elkhart. So let me get through some of our other pieces. Let me see if I can order or answer some of these questions. Yeah, this is kind of funny, right? Whoops. Where'd it go? Yeah, I totally agree with this. Why is a $5 box of Band-Aids sold by Amazon being tracked, not a $150,000 RV? It's just I think the RV industry is catching up. I mean, we as consumers, there used to be this saying, and I can talk about this from an enterprise corporate world. There was a saying, it's like, it's consumer grade. And then there's enterprise grade. And let me tell you, these days, the consumer grade experience is what everybody is trying to replicate in the business setting. And where is my $150,000 van when I can get my $12 Domino's pizza tracked at a moment's notice? And by the way, it shows up as expected, right? So it's a great question, and I'm sure the industry is working on it. And if you want to stick around for a few more minutes, let me share viewer recommendation of the week. So let me show this right off the bat. And this comes from Steve, and he wanted to recommend folks. So we talked about places to park last week, and he wanted to remind us to stay in casinos or airport parking lots. And I can tell you, I have stayed in both, and they are actually really cool places. Casinos in particular, a lot of the bigger ones have RV specific parking. They're kind of off to the side, way in the back, which is great. They're quiet, security's around. Even if you're not into gambling, I am not. You go in, you get a great meal. It's air conditioned, probably over air conditioned. Wi-Fi is plentiful. So casinos, and if it's a little uncertain, go up to the security desk and ask. I've done that. There's a great one. Is it Sioux City, right on the state line of South Dakota, and I can't remember the state next to it. Iowa, is it? Fantastic casino. And airport parking. This one's a little interesting. Normally there's no shade, so if you roll in late at night and you roll out kind of early in the morning, they certainly don't know anything about it, you being there. But this is a great hot tip. Thank you, Steve, for sharing these. It's really good. So if those are not on your list, I would put those on your places to stay list. And let's look at the viewer song of the week. So this comes from Vandemic. Let me zoom in for you. And this is Can You Run by the Steel Drivers. I had never heard of this group before, nor this song. And that's, again, what we do here. We share together. And it's a pretty cool song. It's a little somber, but it's pretty cool. Give that a look and see if you like that. And our pet pick of the week comes from Chris and Cassandra. They're going to be our guests next week. Look at this handsome devil. This is Benny. He's, let me zoom in so you can see him. This is coming from Catskills, New York. What an appropriate name to have this picture taken. Look at this. And they go by the Instagram handle Beyond Intentions on Instagram, and you can hit them up there. They have a 2021 Winnebago Travato that they're living in full time. Again, they're going to be our guests next week, talking about their 7-month experience now as a traveling nurse. And oh, Nick is coming back. No. I thought he ran to his truck and got his thing. We'll see if he pops in so we can thank him in person. Again, next week is Chris and Cassandra. So stay tuned for them. They've got all kinds of great ideas and just a lovely couple. And there we were. There's Luke next to Lily. Let me zoom in so you can see that. And that's their van. They have a National Park Edition, which is just one of the best vans for the dollars, in my opinion. And that's their van to the right of Lily. And I love this juxtaposition of Luke and Benny. They actually were friends for about 20 seconds at the roundup we had at Keeler Farms in Tampa area. And they were like literally nose to nose, and they kind of figured out that they were cats. And then all of a sudden, it was the funniest. Oops, sorry. I don't know why we didn't get that on camera. I knew that something like that was going to happen. And they're going to be on next week. So join us if you are just getting into RVing, if you're just about to get delivery of your RV, or you have just received your RV. This is going to be a great couple because they've had theirs long enough now to know some of the ins and outs. I've been around in mine a long time, and some of this new stuff is so far, in the past for me. It's like, oh yeah, new. So join us next week. And I think with that, we'll just call it. Thank you for Nick joining us tonight. Uh-oh, I'm not sure. So we'll call it, say thank you for him tonight. And we will thank you for joining us. Comment below. Was this helpful? Give it a thumb up if you enjoyed anything from Nick and the audience tonight. Just a great crowd. And if it didn't get your answer, didn't get your question answered, put in the comments, and we'll try and address those separately in the the comments after the show. Check out my website, GoSmallLiveLarge.com. A whole bunch of stuff going on. You don't want to miss any of it. So again, thank you for watching. We will see you soon. Until then, we say we want to journey on with you. See you later.